Hello and welcome audio viewers to a new episode of your show Flex World. This is me, Abdulatif Lanizi. I'm the presenter and I have with me Coach Jose, and he is our coach. He's going to give us our exercises. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Abdulatif. Always a pleasure to be with you, and also a pleasure to be with Flex World.
Thank you, and the pleasure is ours. So now, without any further ado, together, let's get started. So, welcome back, Coach. So what do we have for the first stretches that we have for today?
Now, for today, we're gonna work a little on the core. So we're gonna start with stretches with the scorpion. You're gonna free your lower back, your abdominal area, and give some mobility at the same time.
Wonderful. So is this stretches like everyone can do it, or is it like for certain to the athletes people?
No, as always, we're going to put it in a way that you can downgrade or upgrade the position and the options that you're going to have available for yourself.
So, Coach, for these exercises and these stretches, we have to do it before the exercise, right?
Yeah, it's convenient. If you can, ideally, you're going to start with that one, and we're also going to finish with that scenario, stretching mobility, if possible.
If possible, wonderful. So, Coach, for how many sets and repeats that we're going to do it, and how many levels also?
Now, we're going to have several levels that we're going to see throughout the exercise, but as a motion that you have as a reference, we're going to perform it 4 times each side.
4 times for each level?
4 times from each side, left and right.
Oh, okay. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So with these exercises and stretches, Coach, after we do it, also we need these types of exercises and stretches that we have to do it before we start any main exercise. But Coach, is it necessary that before we start also an exercise, we have to start like with a lightweight? If I wanted to say like, this is actually a general question. Before I start like with a triceps exercise, do I have to start with a lightweight exercise?
Definitely. The definition of a lightweight differs from person to person, but yes, we should have a progression. It's common sense that everyone will do that. You start in a smooth manner and increasing the weight little by little, or the intensity. You can keep the same weight, but you speed up the movement, or you build the intensity some other way, but should be a progression.
Wonderful. So, Coach, now we will start the exercise, which is the scorpion for the stretch, right?
Yeah.
And after that, we will go to the main exercise. So stay tuned, audio viewers.
Hi guys, welcome back. Let's step into our first exercise, stretch. So basically we're gonna do the scorpion. So we're gonna start from a kneeling position. We're gonna bring ourselves forward, drop the hip, smoothly bring yourselves down. Now from this point, you're gonna put one of the arms. The hand should be aligned with the shoulder. So from that point, you drop the shoulder as low as possible, and you're gonna turn your body weight on top of the shoulder. Now, if that becomes too challenging for you, you can always bring the arm a little bit lower. That way it will be more user-friendly, not so much intense on the shoulder joint. So, but placing ourselves from a ground zero position. So drop your shoulder towards the floor. You put your body weight on top of the shoulder. Now the other hand will be placed on the floor in a way that it will create balance. Now, small detail. You're going to bring the bottom leg and you're going to drop the top leg in the back as much as possible. That will provoke the opening of the hip and the release of the lower back. Now, from that point, you're gonna place yourself as comfortable as possible inside of a stretch, of course, From this point, if it is challenging to have the weight of the head balanced, you always can place the hand under the face or even fist the hand and place the head on top of the fist. That way you're going to be a little bit more comfortable for the neck. Now, from this point to return, again, hand on the floor, you're going to remove the bottom leg to the back, going to drop the body weight to the neutral position, and from that point you will engage on the other side. The other side is going to be all over the same, similar. From that point you're going to place the hand aligned with the shoulder and you're going to twist for the other side. So basically you just have to mimic what you did for one side to the other side.
So this is the end for our first exercise. We are warmed up and ready. So stay tuned, don't go anywhere because we will be back with the main exercise. Welcome back, our viewers, and welcome back, Coach. So, Coach, after the first exercise, which is the scorpion stretch, what do we have for the main exercise?
For the main exercise today, we're gonna work a little on intensity. We will go for the floor with a plank position, and we're gonna perform the mountain climber. Several options that we're gonna present, several levels, so stay tuned.
Wonderful. So for the first, for this exercise, which is the mountain climber, you said that we're gonna start with from simple to high intense. And why is that? Why is it already from high intense?
For two reasons. Mainly because most probably not everyone will be able to fit in the starting level, and then we have to decrease it to adapt to intensity that someone has the need to use it. And as a progression of the exercise, we will start with a lower intensity and we will build up until the point that it will be intense enough. That will differ by person to person.
Wonderful. So, Coach, when we do this exercise, a lot of people do many exercises without asking what are the muscles that's been targeted during this exercise. So what are these muscles that we will focus at for the mountain climber?
Okay, for the mountain climber, we will have a base structure that will work on the core. Core muscles will be holding the body, and then with the hip flexors, quads and hip flexors, we will perform the movement. But the rest of the body, shoulders, arms, and core muscles, they will work as a isometric power.
Wonderful. So for how many sets and repeats that we're going to do it for each level?
We're going to apply the same rule that we have been applying to all the exercises. We will perform it 4 sets of 8 reps.
Wonderful. So when we go to start, Coach, because I'm really excited about it.
Guys, don't you worry. We're going to start right now. I will drive you through it. Okay, guys, now for the main course, as we have been talking about it, we're gonna build some intensity. So you have to sustain your body weight as much as possible and then apply some rhythm in the way that it will raise your heart rate. So basically, setting position, knees on the floor, you're gonna place your hands under the shoulder. Now this is a small big detail that you have to address. Now, it will be great if you have the option to do it sideways to a mirror. Of course, if you are home, that can be a challenge. But anyway, try to gain notion that your shoulder blades should be together and your back should be flat as possible. From that point, you just align the head with your spine. Now, in an easier option, you're going to be with the hands under the shoulders, shoulder blades together, placing your eyes on the floor, and from that point, you will be balanced in one leg, and then the other one will come forward, place the knee on the floor, bring the other one as close as possible, and place it back. To increase that level, you can use the same leg to perform the 8 repetitions. So from that point, shoulders locked, head aligned with the spine, and then you gonna build an extension, create a bigger range of motion, and you're gonna perform 8 repetitions. Then from that point, you switch to the other leg and perform the other 8. Now, stepping up a little the intensity, what we're gonna do, same alignment, abs tight, you keep your abs in, squeeze a little the glutes, and from that point, we're gonna assume a plank position. So, squeeze a little the glutes, sustain the whole body, and you're gonna perform the same idea. You can bring one leg, tap in the back, bring the other one, you perform alternating 8 reps, or you stay with the same leg and tapping in the back. To apply another level, we can keep on going without touching the floor. Now, in a more intense way, you can place one leg forward and you can build some intensity, and from that point, cardio, it will be on the table. So, you have several options that you can use and develop and create some intensity. I hope that you enjoy it. Thanks for tuning in.
Walnuts are an excellent source of copper, a mineral that your body needs to produce enzymes involved in energy production and neurotransmitter synthesis. Walnuts have shown to benefit heart health and may reduce including elevated levels of blood pressure, LDL cholesterol and triglycerides. Walnuts are also significantly higher in ALA, omega-3 fatty acids than any other nut. Welcome back, our viewers. So right now we are with Dr. Wael Al-Asad, and he's going to give us all what we need about the information that we need in regards of the spread ankles or the twisted ankles or the foot, right, doctor?
Yes.
So welcome back, doctor. Doctor, in talking about the spread ankles, what's the causes of this issue?
Well, sprained ankles is not only an incident or an accident that happens with people who do sport, but it's also an injury that can occur to any person. Sometimes people going downstairs, they did not look at the step underneath, and then they twist their ankles and they have an injury. Or maybe sometimes they move from one level to another, or sometimes they just simply move, they don't see the whatever underneath, then they twist their ankle. And also it can happen to people who play sports. Sometimes they step on somebody's leg and then they twist their ankles or they fall off. So these kind of injuries are, anybody is susceptible to that kind of injury. When someone sprains their ankle or his ankle, which means that most of the time the twisting of the ankle is on the outer side.
Yes.
Okay, on the lateral aspect. We have ligaments and muscles coming from this side. When people have twisted ankle, most of the ankle sprain occurs to the lateral aspect, which is the outside. And this is because the inside ligaments are so tough, so strong, we rarely have sprained ankle inside. There are some injuries. If someone is playing sport and he was being kicked from the outside, then they will have the what we call the strain from the inside. So, but again, it is
Not that common.
not as often
Yes.
as the lateral aspect of the ankle. Once the person has the sprained ankle, there are multiple degrees of strain. There are some probably minor strain, and there are some mild tear, and there are some people who have complete tear of the ligaments. Once they have the complete tear, then they don't have the stability of the joint. Those people most likely need to go through surgery so that they can fix the complete tear that is taking place, and then they regain the stability of the joint again. But most of the strain is either simple, we call it strain, or maybe mild tear that took place in the ligament, and usually it will heal as long as we stabilize the area.
Yes.
We try to reduce the activities that we do with the leg so that we allow the healing process to take time, and then we can go through the rehabilitation process with the physiotherapy afterward. But most of the time, most people will not need surgery to treat the sprained ankle.
But unfortunately, they go to the medical solutions immediately.
Sometimes the medical intervention is necessity because they have the what we call the first aid need. For example, they have the swelling that take place, which is a sign of inflammation. They have the severe pain. They have the high temperature. These are all signs of inflammation that took place. And definitely when they go to the medical attention, the first thing they would like to know, do we have complete tear or not? Do we have fracture or not? So it is necessary to go and see their doctors, maybe take an x-ray and see if things is safe or not. Then they have to go with, for example, the first intervention, which is to try to stabilize the area so that you can prevent the further destruction of the ligaments as well as the joints, allowing the healing process to take the normal process, and then we can go back to what we call the rehabilitation phase. A lot of people, they go with the early signs of inflammation, and that will be the only thing that they look at. For example, the early signs of pain, inflammation leads to swelling, and also maybe changing of the color. They see the bluish color,
Yes.
which is related to the injury, and maybe the temperature will be hot because of the inflammation that took place. These are signs that are what we call early signs. As the person heal, I mean
Yes.
the ligaments as well as the healing process take place, then these signs will subside. We don't see the swelling, the pain decreases, the color will change, and there is normal temperature of the area, which means that there is healing process is taking place. But this is the outer sign. The inner sign is not seen. How much healing took place, we don't see it. The flexibility of the joint is not seen. Is the joint ready to
Be stepped out and used, yeah.
and be stabilizing? It's not seen. So now we know the healing process from within, it needs at least 6 to 12 weeks. So even if you got less pain, it doesn't mean that your leg is ready for sport or for jogging again or for normal daily activities. Sometimes you have to protect it in that fashion for 6 to 8 weeks before you can put weight on your legs, because once you put weight, you will be destabilizing the injured site, which
Yes.
means that you will overstretch or maybe stretch the ligaments, and then you will cause another injury. Now the healing will take longer time instead of like the shorter time that's supposed to be taken.
to 12 weeks.
Yes, that's why there are some people who complain that the healing process is taking so much time.
And that's because they are using it before it's fully healed.
Because it's, yes, that's one thing. Another thing, there are some people who look at the early signs of inflammation. Once they subside, they don't go for the rehabilitation process, which needs to be done so that we can get the normal strength of the muscles, the normal coordination of the muscles, the normal what we call proprioception, which is the connection between the brain and the foot. Because if you don't use it, you will lose the connection, the proper connection between the brain and the foot, and then you don't get the instant information. Later on, those people, if they start sport, they will tend to re-injure themselves because they did not do the rehabilitation, which
Correctly.
is the regaining of the proprioception sensation. That's why we have to go through the full rehabilitation after we have the signs of inflammation that subside.
So, doctor, when I get the symptoms, which is the bluish area on the ankles, and also I get the high temperature on this area also, but I see it starts healing. So this is a part of rehabilitation, but of course I have to take this process fully with a physiotherapist, right?
Yes, a lot of people, they face problem whenever they change the level of activity.
Yes.
For example, there are some people who start by simple walking. Because they are doing it every day, they can help to rehab themselves in one activity, which is walking. Later on, if they want to do another activity that requires more flexibility, more strength, more coordination, then they will have problem. That's why they walk with less pain. They think that they can jog right
Yes.
now. They can run and they can be involved in sports, which is totally different thing. Now, each activity requires different kind of rehabilitation. The thing that you don't do frequently, you don't prepare yourself for it. For example, those people who start walking because they have to walk and they are doing it every day, they can get better in walking. But they avoided to go on the floor, they avoided to go on stairs,
Yes.
they avoided to move faster, they avoided to put more load in jogging. So if they don't do it and do it suddenly, because they did not prepare themselves for that,
Yes.
they will have an injury again. So that injury, because they did not do the proper rehabilitation to prepare themselves for that kind of activities.
Good. So, doctor, you advise us also to use more walking and more jogging and to practice more activities so we can prevent these types of injuries?
Yes, let's be careful here. We are not advising people to jog, but we
Suddenly.
advise people
Yeah.
to do the rehabilitation, because rehabilitation before jogging,
Yes.
you have to, first of all, make sure that they have good flexibility. Once there is healing that's taken place, there is less flexibility of the ligaments,
Yes.
there is less flexibility of the tendons, so the joint will not move as normal. So they have to do these kind of activities, stretching, making sure that the ligaments and tendons are moving in the proper fashion. Another thing, they have to do what we call trying to get the scarring out and away from the picture. Once you have healing taking place, you will have scarring that formed, which is good for strengthening of the ligaments,
Yes.
but it will not give it its flexibility. So we have to do softening of the scarring so that we prepare the person for the activity. So there are a lot of things to talk about when we talk about sprained ankles.
Yeah.
And what is the rehabilitation process? Probably this is something we can take we can take care of later on.
Yes, inshallah, at the next time. But for now, doctor, thank you for everything that you gave us. This information was really wonderful. And thank you all the viewers for watching this part of the episode. Hope you liked it and enjoyed it. We will see you for the next time. And goodbye for now.